meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our call with Sean Clifford. As a reminder, if you have a question, please raise your hand and I will call on you. All right, Greg Pickerel.
Hey, good morning, Sean. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Greg.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, when you look at Purdue on film, what have you seen from them at this point on defense, and what are some of the things that jump out when you watch them as you get ready for the game?
Yeah, I think that they have a lot of weapons. They definitely, they hold it down up front. I think that they have a good D-line. I think they get after the passer. They play well in the run game. Kieran Douglas, the Mike linebacker, he kind of holds it down for the linebacking core. I think that they have a experienced linebacking core this year with a bunch of guys returning. And then with some transfers at DB, I think that they have a lot of talent. Definitely a challenge, and really excited to get out there Thursday.
Ben Jones.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Good, Ben. How about you?
Good. I guess Ricky and Brent are going to coach against each other on Friday because Virginia Tech is at Old Dominion. Have you had a chance to talk to either of these guys recently? I know everybody's busy doing stuff. And do you think you'll follow the game? And how do you even root for a game where you have those relationships with both those coaches?
Yeah, I haven't talked to either of them, obviously, it's just so busy. But I think that, when you talk about rooting for one or the other, I think it's just more so for me, just excited to see two men that I've really have a lot of respect for as coaches, done a lot for me over the years, go head to head. I think it's just a cool moment for all of us who have been in the building with both Ricky and Brent Price. So I think, it'll be a fun one. That's for sure. I'm sure that there's a lot of heat and a lot of passion behind this one. So, focus on our game, but at the same time, you bring up a good point. It's always fun to just watch some good college football at the same time.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Sean, you got me now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm curious kind of how the preseason progressed. How have you seen the guys behind you develop? And what stands out to you about the two freshmen at this point?
Yeah, I think that, all three of them have just been phenomenal. It's been really, really easy as a vet QB to just be able to share my insights, be able to show them everything that I've learned over the past few years, and now getting into game prep, be able to truly dive into what it looks like. What film are we watching on Tuesday? What film are we watching on Wednesday? And when I'm referring to Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm saying like Saturday, Sunday, because it's been such a weird week. I still try to today's a Wednesday for me personally and the team. So, but just showing them exactly, how I operate and how I get prepared for the game, so that way I can go in as confident as ever. I think that that's the main key. And I think that honestly, they've done just a fantastic job of opening their ears and listening, asking a bunch of questions whenever they have one, not being afraid to ask, and just being, really receptive to both praise and criticism. I think that, we have a room that is very loving of each other, want everybody to succeed, and at the same time have that competition, which is really good. So I think, that's one of my favorite rooms so far. And just lots of talent. So really excited moving forward with them.
Right, Tyler Donahue.
Good morning, Sean. Thanks for your time. Going into this matchup this Thursday, where are you at from a command level, from a confidence level, versus where you were going into your first game last September with Mike Yurcich as the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, way more confident. Just knowing exactly what he wants to accomplish and what this offense needs to accomplish on every play. Not that I didn't last year, but it's just a different sense of confidence. I've seen a lot more through the same offense. I have the same experience calling the plays, now being able to really get into game plans with them and just share my insights and my thoughts. on what I like, what I might not like, and being able to have him hear me is a big portion of this as well, because he's developed a lot of trust in me over the year. And I think that's going to pay off dividends for our offense come Thursday, just because of how much respect I have for him and how much respect he has for me. Just making sure that we're in the right play at all times.
John McGonigal.
Yeah, Sean, obviously we know a lot about Parker, Keandre Mitchell. How does the wide receiver depth look beyond those three, and who's been kind of sending out?
I think we got a lot of depth. Those three are definitely hard to overlook. They're fantastic players with a lot of talent that are ready to go on for Thursday. But at the same time, I think that Trey Wallace is somebody who stands out. Somebody who's been rotating in with the ones, makes a lot of plays. Malik Mega, another great player. Jaden Dotton, my brother Liam Clifford. I think the young bucks, Amari Evans, Kane Saunders. Those are all names that really step out to me. We've seen a lot of Parker and heard a lot of Mitch, but those guys in the two deep are really pushing those older guys to get better every day and making sure that they're on their game every single day. So it's been impressive to watch everybody work, and I'm excited to see. There's no drop off in confidence for me if one guy comes out and one guy goes in. It's we have a deep room at wide receiver.
Frank Bodani.
Hey, Sean, thank you. Your tight ends, you got 3 of them. Most quarterbacks don't, I would think. Can you explain a little bit about what the possibilities are this year for having those 3 guys? How are they a little bit different? How's it going to be better for you with them this year than last?
Yeah, I think that first and foremost, it really goes back to just personnel, being able to switch your personnels up. And with such a deep wide receiver room and such a deep tight end room, it just allows you to go from 01 to 11 to 12 to 13 to 23, whatever you want to do, whatever personnel we want to get into, we really can, because we have talent and depth at every single position, at the skill position. So for me, it's really exciting just because it kind of opens up things that, other teams might not be able to, when you have tight ends that can not only block but make a lot of plays on the perimeter. I think it opens up a lot, because you can't just put in a heavy package and bear down. You have to respect them in the pass game as much as the run game. So it's really impressive to watch those 3, Brenton, Theo, and Tyler, work. I think that Khalil Dinkins is also coming along as well, which is exciting to see. But those vet 3 are really stepping up to the table and want to make some big plays going forward.
Elton Hayes.
Yeah, hey, Sean, how are you doing this morning?
Good over you.
Good. Hey, there's a battle brewing there at safety. Just wanted to get from your perspective, from an quarterback's perspective, what's it been like with those guys fighting for that competition, and how would you evaluate that position so far?
Yeah, I think that, with a veteran like Jair, it makes it easy because of how impressive he is. He's just on the field. He's an animal. He just makes plays. He's a natural born football player. And off the field, he's an even better person. Somebody who's always there to listen to people. He's the voice of the team. He really makes sure that, we're in line and guys are following what we're talking about. So it makes it easy to have a leader like Jair. But, from everybody, from Jay Reed, Zaki, and Keaton Ellis, those 3 really pop out to me. I think the young buck, KJ Winston, he's another really good player. And then even like Constantini, a guy that no one's really heard, but the room just has depth, and it's pushing each other really hard. I'm excited to see how it plays out. There's really no drop off from a quarterback perspective. If I got to lock in with all 4 of those guys, they're all very capable of making plays. Zaki being the turnover king this fall camp, saw him make a lot of interceptions that were very impressive. And it makes us as quarterbacks even better because, the windows just get tighter and tighter the better the players are. So it was impressive to see everybody work, and I'm excited to have them on my team instead of seeing them on Thursday.
John Sauber.
Sean, does your perspective change for this season opener knowing it's your last one?
Definitely. I would say it's just exciting. It's just every year there's always been one more that I could have. And knowing that this is my last one, it definitely comes with a little bit more sentimental value for me. Being able to play with my brother one more year, and then just having one more go with Penn State football. This place has given me so much. I've just enjoyed every single minute that I've been here, and to be able to say now that game one of my last season at Penn State, I couldn't be more excited to put on the blue and white and represent such a great community.
Donnie Collins.
Hey, Sean.
How you doing?
Pretty well. How has the captain's role kind of evolved for you since the first time you were captain till now? Is there a more important aspect of it that you didn't realize then, or is it pretty much the same?
No, you develop. I mean, everybody develops every single day differently. You learn something new, and to say that I'm the same captain as I was back in 2019 would definitely be wrong. I've learned a lot. I think that John Sutherland would say the same. We've learned our different leadership traits and developed new ones, and really been able to balance off of each other to make us do our best every single day when it comes to leading the team. Commanding respect, but at the same time being able to have conversations with guys and being personal. I think it's a mix of both, and it's been a blast to be able to be a part of this team specifically, just because of how hard they work. There's not a lot of problems when it comes to this team right now. It's a team that's focused at one task at hand, and that's winning and going 1-0 Thursday. So it's been really impressive to watch over the past, because we've been so young. This year I think we have a lot of young talent, but they're all receptive. They don't have an ego. And it makes it a lot easier for us to lead.
John Petishnock.
Hey, Sean, following up on kind of what you were asked a little bit ago about this being your last season, obviously there's always a win now mentality for this team. Is there a different sense of urgency, or does that sense of urgency feel different for you knowing that, this is the year for you?
I want to win every day. So no, not really. My competitive drive is not wavered or changed. Do I want to make this year special? For sure. That's not what I'm saying. I want this year to be the biggest, baddest year I've had. Obviously, I want to end this thing the way I see it. So definitely, there's definitely a win now, but it's always been win now, to be honest with you. So.
David Melandra Jr.
Hey, Sean, two questions for you. One, what is one thing you can take away from last season going into this year?
I would say the confidence in the offense, just being able to have the same OC. That's the biggest takeaway going in from last year to this year, just being able to really command the offense, have a full grip on everything. There's just been so much turnover for me. It's just been sometimes tough, not trying to make an excuse, but at the same time, just the hands that I've been dealt and the cards I've been dealt, but at the same time, made a lot out of it, and really excited to have Coach Yursich back and be able to really dive into the offense. So I think that's the one that stands out the most.
That was only one question that we have time for. Next, we have Ali Barube.
Hey, Sean, I'm wondering, do you still get week one jitters at all, or how do you compare this year as your fourth year starter to maybe your first time starting? Like, just how much have you grown as a person, as a quarterback in that time?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a different, excitement is definitely always there, but it's different for me now. It's much more businesslike. I got a job to do on Thursday. Not saying that it wasn't like that back when I was starting before, but it was just so new, and the atmosphere was just so new, and it's just your emotions are just running so high. But once you played in as many games as I have, it's more so just getting your job done and executing at a high level. Because I've been in games like this. The environment's going to be hectic. I know that they're going to be bringing the blackout and have a packed out stadium. I've seen games like that before, so I know exactly what I'm getting into. Respect, Purdue, their fan base, everything that they're going to bring. Just really excited for the opportunity. But more business-like for myself nowadays than any jitters, I would say.
Daniel Gallen.
Morning, Sean.
Morning.
What's it been like developing the relationship with Juice at center, and how have you kind of seen his development come on as kind of that, center in the center of that offensive line?
Yeah, Juice is really the keystone of our offense. He holds everybody together. He's somebody that's going to be in early, out late. If I need to watch tape with him, he's readily available whenever I need him. If I want to talk protections, if I want to talk game plan, if I want to talk about anything, Juice has always been there. And now being able to be the starting center full time, I think that he's taking it up a notch. He just knows the offense inside and out. He knows if I call something, he can figure it out. And if I want something done, he's gonna ID it correctly. He's gonna get our guys, our five, on point, on the same page. And he does a really good job with communication, as well as obviously being the football player that he is. So, really excited for him. I know he's excited. He's been through a lot at Penn State. So to say now that, he's in a good spot is an understatement. He's ready to go. I got full confidence in Juice and the whole offensive line, and really excited to see them put their talents on display on Thursday.
Seth Engel.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. So Taylor Stubblefield's going back to Purdue for his first time as a coach. After being coached by him for a few years, how have you seen him develop as a teacher and a leader?
Yeah, I think that, Coach Stubb has always been a player's coach, somebody who everybody can relate to with his experience at the college level. He's got a joking side that relates to the players. At the same time, he gets down to business and he makes sure that, everybody's in the right space, head space and right place at the right time. So, I have a lot of respect for Coach Stubb, everything that he's done for us. I know, his history at Purdue. He was a hell of a player. He makes sure that people know that too. So we definitely know what he did at Purdue. But I know he's excited as well. So it's a great opportunity for him to go back and go against his alma mater.
All right, we've got time for two more questions. Audrey Snyder.
Sorry, you just said that Taylor makes it known what he did at Purdue. How so? Because some people I talked to said he talks more trash than probably anybody on your staff. Maybe, is that true?
I would say that's close to true.
Okay.
We got definitely a trash talking staff when it comes to talking at each other. Everyone's super competitive. So Coach Stubb, I would say Coach Dex is up there. He loves talking. But no, we got a great staff, one that really pushes each other and it rubs off on us to push each other as well. So yeah, it just creates a great environment. And, Coach Stubb being one of those coaches who is always going to make sure, he's getting the best out of us. And then at the same time, when we get a play or make a play, he's definitely going to be hyping us up and coming with the juice. So I think that, it's impressive to see him, work at such a high level.
Last question, Tyler Donahue.
Hey, Sean, we had Coach Snyder on the practice field Wednesday at Beaver Stadium, I should say, and he talked about the breakaway speed this backfield has that he doesn't feel they've had since Journey Brown retired back in 2020. Specifically talking about Nick and what he brings there, how can that change things for you in the passing game when you had that ability for a guy to go 80, 90 yards on the ground?
Yeah, it's cool to, like, as a purely as a college football fan, it's just cool to watch these running backs run, just because they run with so much tenacity, so much speed, so much power. We have a deep room, and it's funny because I always tell people that I have the best seat in the house to watch our backs run, because when you see the hole open up and you just see it crease, it's pretty cool to see our backs hit it, and they make sure that they're running downhill, they're getting every yard that they can, securing the football, and it's impressive. With the leadership from Devin and Kevon, I think that all of them work extremely hard, and now bringing these young guys up with Katron and Nick. We have an impressive room, one that I would agree with Coach Sider. The room's different this year, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our session with Sean Clifford. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.